you just read
It's on 13 April.
13 April. I mentioned it in the format of assignment, isn't it?
In the guidelines.
In the guidelines kan. Okay. So 13 of April. Thank you, sister. Okay. Okay, so students in the Google Meet, can you show your face? Please show your face. What? Okay, very good. Thank you. How's your life so far? Life terus. How is your life so far?
Very, very good. Good,
Very,
madam.
very
Good,
good.
madam. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So whatever we face today is actually the best, the very best that Allah planned to us. We should be grateful. Okay. So if you face any difficulty, please find the solutions soon possible. Okay. Don't. And then the first that you have to do is please pray to Allah and meet Allah. Meet Allah in the middle of night. Okay, do a lot of salat prayers. Okay, seek Allah's forgiveness. Okay, siapa yang mengantuk lagi tu? Ada yang mengantuk lagi ke? So the afternoon, so maybe after the class you can cook lah for lunch. Ada yang masak tak kat rumah? So yang brothers tu, then now you have the opportunity to learn how to cook. Not only cook Maggi. Try to learn the cooking skill because now you are at home. Okay, so kitchen just near to you. So why not you just switch on the dapur gas tu, the cooker, and then masaklah, cook something. Fried rice ke, okay, chicken rice ke, cook Maggi. Cook Maggi pun okay lah, but you have to mix some things, this special ingredients because you cook at home, not cook at hostel anymore. Kan? Okay. So, siapa yang malas ni? Please throw away your malas to the laziness. Rajin-rajinkan kemas rumah, clean your rooms, clean your room, clean your house, make your mother happy. Okay, so you can learn skill to become a husband and a wife. Okay, so opportunity. Learn about university, the courses. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, let's start our lesson. Okay, so today insyaAllah we will discuss on the 3 prohibited elements in Islamic finance, or 3 prohibited elements that is opposed to the Islamic spirit, which are Riba, Gharar and Maysir. These 3 elements you will learn repeatedly. You will listen all the discussions from any course, okay, in future about these 3 prohibited elements, which is riba or interest, gharar uncertainty, and maysir or gambling. Okay, that is the root lah for the practice. Okay, so let me share with you my slide. Okay, nampak tak dia punya the magic of OBS. Okay, the magic. Can you see? Okay, student at Google
Yes.
can?
We can
Okay.
see.
Yes.
Yeah, we can
Yes,
see now.
madam.
Okay.
Madam.
Okay, very good. Because when I use OBS, no need for me to present, to click on the presentation button. So I just click on the OBS, it will appear automatically. Okay. Okay, so what's the topic today? Okay. So today we will learn about the three prohibition elements, and also we will discuss on the Islamic business ethics. Okay, so business ethics is also important to be practiced in financial industry. So the workers, the top management level, they have to bear all the Islamic business ethics. Okay, when they want to run the Islamic banking business. Okay, in Malaysia, the controller, the main regulator for the Islamic finance, which is the Central Bank of Malaysia. I think same with other countries. Okay, so the regulator in Malaysia especially have provide guidelines to ensure the practice of Islamic bank according to the Islamic ethics through Sharia governance policy documents, which is the Sharia element that govern the business of Islamic banking. Okay, so through that guideline lah. Okay, if I have time, maybe I can show you we call SGPD, Sharia Governance Policy Document. Okay, okay. Now let's proceed to the three prohibited elements. You always heard about riba, kan? Conventional banks practice riba, practice interest. So what is riba? What is interest? Okay, and then gharar. I think you have learned also these three things when you are at foundations. Kan? Dah learn kan? Have you learned this before?
Yes, madam.
That's very good. Okay. Okay, so Riba, Gharar and Maysir. We will touch one by one lah these three elements. Okay, the first one is Riba, or in conventional terms or English term we call interest. Interest. Okay, so this interest means the interest of others. Others have interest on us. Okay, but it's okay if they only have interest, but this interest is too excessive. That will burden us later on, or will burden other people that become the victims of this interest. Okay, so what is riba or interest actually? Okay, it is predetermined excess that is predetermined. It is informed earlier, or surplus over the principal in relation to a specific period. So this excess is informed to us if in case it is optional. Like say if I just go straight forward lah, for basically interest happens for loan contract, borrowing and lending. Okay, like A wanted to borrow a money from B, 100 ringgit for example. Okay, so then in this context, B will inform A. Okay, I give you, oh, to let me in. Okay, wait, yeah. Somebody wanted to enter to join us. Okay, so make sure next class you come on time. If not, I will close the door. Okay? Ha. Ha. Okay, so apa tadi? B will inform A. Okay, I can give you, I lend you 100 ringgit, but okay, if you return back tomorrow, you just give me 100 ringgit. But after tomorrow, if tomorrow is Wednesday, but if you return to me on Thursday, you have to add 10 ringgit. So you have to return back to me 110 ringgit because of the extent of the period. So it is excess over the principal. The 10 ringgit is considered as riba or interest. Okay. Somebody. Okay. Okay, clear? So
Yes,
we
madam.
okay, very good. Okay, so we also call riba is increase, additions, expansions, or grow. Okay, so in Islam, we actually is not encouraged to do a borrowing and lending. Okay, except for the emergency. Okay, in case we still want to borrow money from bank, for example, or from somebody. Okay, so in Islamic point of view, we only have right to return back the principal amount. We cannot return any additions of the principal. If 100 ringgit and then 100 ringgit. If there is excess over the principal, is considered as riba. Okay, so in Islam, loan basically we call Qardul Hasan or benevolent loan, which is only principal should be written back. No any sense of additions over the uh, principal. Okay, that is Islamic loan. Okay. Huh? Okay, so in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 275 here, okay, this is very famous ayat or verse. Okay, you should memorize this. So throughout your programs, you will, I think you will face or you will come across this verse lah. Okay, somebody wanted to enter. Okay, um, okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allazina ya'kuluna riba la yaqumuna illa kama yaqumu allazi yatakhabbatu syaitanu minal mas. Zalika bi annahum qalu innamal bay'u mithlu riba. Wa ahallallahu al-bay'a wa harrama riba. Okay. So this ayat is actually a dalil to the prohibitions of riba. Because here Allah mentions innamal bay'u mithlu riba. Indeed, buy and sell is like a riba, but Allah allow buy and sell, selling and buying, but Allah prohibit riba. Okay, there will be a difference. There must be a difference between these two. Why Allah allow buying and selling? Why Allah disallow riba? Okay, so very clear reason that we can see here. Buy and sell contracts basically a practice a fair value among the parties, because buy and sell contract is an exchange contract. He exchange between one party to other party. Like we want to sell our computer. So when we want to sell our computer, for sure we will put a price on that computer, isn't it? Okay, so the other party that want to buy our computer, they have to pay. So exchange between computer and the money. For example, 1,000 computer. So it is exchange, and then the value basically based on the market price, based on the consent, the mutual consents of the parties. So it is fair, okay, buy and sell, unless okay, or except the buy and sell contract is executed with a force, with uh, with a cheating element, with a certain agenda. Okay, but if buy and sell contract is conducted in a fairness, again fair manner, so that's okay. Allah allow it to happen. Okay, why riba is disallowed? Okay, so why Allah prohibited riba? Because riba is not buy, it is not exchange contract. Riba happens where one party are in it and the other party will take advantage by putting an additions to the principal. So no fair elements in that riba transactions. Okay, so if there is a fair element, we do not consider it as a riba. Okay. Okay, there is one straightforward, clear reason that we can see between buy and selling or trading and riba practice. Okay, And then riba also not only practice for the lending and borrowing. Riba can occur in buying and selling also. Okay, because Allah said innamal bai'u mithlu riba, just like riba. If it is not practiced accordingly, this buy and sell contract. Okay, so that is why riba can also occur in buy and selling contract. We will discuss after this. Okay. So this was Surah Al-Baqarah that I explained just now. Okay, so trading and riba. Okay, I have explained this. Okay, fair exchange of good or value, fair distributions of risk and return, and oppressive or unfair distributions of risk and return. Okay. Okay, so the types of riba we'll discuss after this. Okay, so we discuss the hadith. Okay, narrated by Umar bin Al-Khattab. Uh, Umar Al-Khattab, okay, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the bartering of gold for silver is riba. Meaning that bartering is exchange, isn't it? System barter, exchange system, good with good. So in this case, exchange of gold for silver is considered as riba, except if it is from hand to hand and equal in amount, and weight grain for weight grain is usually, except if it is from hand to hand and equal in amount, and barley for barley is usually, except if it is from hand to hand and equal in amount. Okay, so meaning that if you want to exchange good with good, it should be done with hand to hand, meaning that on the spot. I give I give you by hand lah. Meaning that COD. Now the term we call COD, cash on delivery. So on the spot we want to exchange. Okay, we want to exchange silver. We want to buy a gold. Okay, so like now we exchange gold with money, isn't it? So in case we want to exchange gold with money, it should be done on the spot. If we saw an advertisement at Facebook today, okay, and we interested to buy that gold or jewelries, we have to meet the seller on the spot today. Okay, and agree with today's price. And the jewelries or gold should be given or transferred to us today. Okay, not using a postage, not we next week we will deliver it. Okay, no. If it is happens, so it's basically occur or incur a riba or usury. Okay, so why? Because of the value of that subject, the value of gold is changing over time. Okay, so today value is not equal for tomorrow. It's not equal with weekend, even though we have locked the value today. Okay, so the current practice that we saw in the advertisement at social media, like they want to sell a gold and using postage delivery. Okay, and then we lock the price today and only will receive the goods or the gold later on, is basically incur a riba, because it will attract the unfairness element. Whether it's unfair to the buyer or to the seller, it depends on the price of the gold at that time. Okay, so in this case, the bartering of gold in the hadith, okay, Rasulullah said it is usury or riba. Okay, if we exchange gold for silver with not hand to hand on the spot, not equal in amounts. For sure, if it is not on the spot, the value will be different. Okay, so weight grain pun sama. Okay, we want to exchange it, we have to exchange on the spot. Okay, barley pun sama, because all these things um, is basically the food during the Prophet times, where the the price and then the quality of that we call apa barang usury items, this one. Okay, barley, what else, grain, weight and grain. So the value will be change, will be different. With a different of times. Okay, so at that times when they want to change barley with something else, they have to do on the spot, because tomorrow maybe the quality of barley will be different. It will damage. Kan? Okay, so another thing is narrated by Jabir, one more hadith from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He cursed the devourer of usury as also its giver, the scribe of the deed, and the witness to it, and said they are all equal in the degree of sins. So in case we usually here refer to the riba, in case we know that the bank practice riba, so we still work with the bank. So we also will receive a portions of the sin. Okay, because nowadays there are many Islamic banks. We have other options not to work with the conventional banks. Ini example lah. Or in case we saw it is happen, but still we want to join the system, we want to join the group, so we also incur a sin. Okay. Okay, so there are two types of riba as I mentioned. Okay, so two types of riba, which are riba an-nasi'ah and riba al-fadl. Riba an-nasi'ah happen when riba an-nasi'ah basically happens to a lending and borrowing practice, loan money. It is called riba an-nasi'ah. Comes from the word nasa'a, to postpone, to defer, or to wait. Because of the postponement, so there will be a difference in terms of the amount that should be written. Okay, so because of period that is allowed for the debtor to repay the loan after its due date. Okay, so in return, the debtor must pay an additional amount on the extended paying period. So it has been practiced since the pre-Islamic period, riba al-jahiliyah. We call this riba is also riba al-jahiliyah because it practiced during the period of jahiliyah. Okay, before the Islam comes. So it's also termed as riba ad-duyun. Duyun means debt. Riba ad-duyun, riba al-mubashir, and riba al-jali. Okay, riba an-nasiyah is basically practiced by the conventional bank because they adopt a loan contract. Uh, Even though the Islamic banks also they offer a financings, okay, and then they put a certain profit rates to the financings amount. So it is not considered as riba because of the types of contract that is practiced by the Islamic bank. So Islamic bank practice a contract of buy and sell contract. Okay, not a loan contract per se. Okay, so buy and sell contract like a murabaha contract, a partnership contract, a musyarakah contract, or mudarabah contract, or a safekeeping contract, wadi'ah contract. So none of the Islamic bank practice a loan contract like conventional bank. Okay, so later on when we discuss the products, then you will know. So how this buy and sell contract is adapted to the products of the Islamic banks. Okay. Okay, so now second types of riba, which is riba al-fad. What is riba al-fad? Riba al-fad occur in buy and sell, not in borrowing and lending practice. Okay, so riba al-fad occur from the trade or sale of transactions. It covers all on the spot transactions involving cash payment and immediate delivery of goods. It is based on, because riba al-fad is not occur because of extensions of periods of borrowing or lending. No, it is occurs in the transactions, trading transaction or buy and sell transactions. So it is based on the hadith that says gold for gold, silver for silver. Okay, also termed as sales riba, riba as-sunnah, riba al-buyu', buyu' is buy and sell, riba al-ghair, al-mubashir, and riba al-kafi. So let's see. Okay, let's discuss about example. Let me give you example of riba al-fad. So riba al-fad occur when basically if you want to buy usually happens when we buy fruits lah. When we buy fruits at pasar malam or night market. Okay, so the seller sell us, okay, 3 kg of mango equal to 10 ringgit. Okay, 3 kg 10 ringgit. Okay, then we want to buy it. So then because of so when they scale, they put in the scale the mangoes. So the scale show that 3 kg kan 2.91 gram. Okay, it is not yet 3 kg on the scale, showing that the mango, if they put one more mango, it exceeds 3 kg. So the seller just sum up that, okay, never mind, it's just a few grams, it does not affect, so they just give us 2.9 gram of mango and we give them 10 ringgit. So basically, it is the exchange is not equal. Because Rasulullah says if you want to exchange good with good, it should be equal in amount and on the spot. On the spot, okay, because we buy it on cash at pasar malam, right? But the scale, the measurements, okay, of that the fruits given by the seller is not equal to the value of 10 ringgit because they promise us to sell 3 kg of mango with 10 ringgit. So in that case, riba happens whereby the exchange is not equal in value. Okay, so it brings unfairness to the buyer. Okay, so please be careful. And the example is, yes, it's 3 kg, but when we bring home the mango, few mangoes is already busuk, damaged. We cannot eat 2 mangoes. Okay. So it's also unequal. And provided that the seller already know that a few of the fruit is not it's not good. The quality is not equal for all mangoes. So it's also unfair to the buyer. This is riba al-fad, unequal exchange of value or amount, okay, of goods. Okay, so far clear the types of riba. Yeah, yeah. Tak jalan ni. Wait. Yeah, wait. Okay. Okay, let's proceed. This is just the summary of the classifications of riba lah, types of riba. Okay, so we have a pre-Islamic riba and post-Islamic riba. Okay, so pre-Islamic riba is riba ad-duyun or riba al-nasi'ah. Okay, so post-Islamic riba al-buyung or riba al-fad. This one buy and sell riba. So because of before Islam comes, okay, okay, they practice like they lend a money to the needy. Then they add amount of the additions to the principal. Okay, so when the Islam comes, where they involve with the tradings, the economic systems have enhanced at that times. So riba al-fad exists in the practice of buy and sell transactions during that times. Okay. Okay, now the second prohibited elements. Okay, so which is gharar. Okay, what is gharar? Gharar means risk, uncertainty, or hazard. Okay, risk, uncertainty, and hazard. That technically means sale of probable item whose existence or characteristic are not certain. So in simple terms, gharar is uncertainty. It is unclear, uncertainty. So let's say you want to sell your laptop to your friends. You just mentioned in the advertisement selling of laptop. You mention about the detail of the laptop and then you didn't mention the price. Okay, you didn't mention the price. So please PM to ask the price. It's already incur uncertainty. Gharar. Okay, I don't like the current practice. The online advertisements where the price is not mentioned by the seller. Basically, that is actually a practice of gharar or uncertain. So if you want to sell something, we should show everything, all the details on the product, especially with regards to the price. Okay. Uh, so also in terms of the quality, the color of the goods, like especially clothes ke, bag ke, usually they will present a very nice color. But when we receive it, the color is not similar with the picture, okay, that displayed by the seller. Okay, basically that's a example of gharar. Okay, uncertainty elements. Okay, in the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah. Let me. Okay, never mind. Okay, so in Surah Al-Baqarah, okay, verse 188, uh, okay, the meanings, endeavor not one another's possessions wrongfully, and neither employ legal artifice, uh, artifice with a view to devouring sinfully and knowingly anything that by right belongs to others. Okay, so all illegal defective elements in contract which included gharar are unjust. It become unjust. So when we intentionally just hide some informations, it is not a marketing tactic, but we intentions to hide the price. We want to trap the buyer. Okay. So this is a reminder. Please do not possess others property wrongfully. Like we want to sell something, basically we want a money from them. So the way we get a money from a buyer, it should be a just way, not with a trap, not with a tricks, not with a, apa, a marketing approach that is unethical or unfair approach. Okay, we can do any approach of marketing or sales, but the approach um, must be fair to all parties. Okay. So Allah the Almighty encouraged trade to be held by mutual consent between the parties involved. So the elements of mutual consent. What is mutual consent? Mutual consent means that all parties are really satisfied with the transactions. Okay, the seller satisfied with the price. Okay, and then the buyer satisfied with the goods. They are mutually concerned with the transactions. Okay, so in Islam, we can translate the mutual consent with a rida. Riba. Okay, one of the legal maxims said that all the contracts in Islam should be done with a rida mutaakidaini, rida between the parties, the transaction parties. Okay, so rida. If we do not rida is accept, isn't it? Accept with an open heart, kan? So if we do not rida, meaning that we do not have mutual consent. Even though our tongue say that, yes, I agree, but inside our heart, we do not rida. We do not consent on what happened. Okay, so our word or word lah, and also our said lah, words and also our heart should comes together when we want to do the transaction. Okay, so as a seller, when we want to sell something, we can see the face of the buyer, whether they are willingly or they've been forced to buy our good. Okay, so some seller, they don't care about it. Okay, they don't care about it. So they just care about the money that they receive, and then after that, then okay, it's up to you. Even though you give me with not consent, with not without rida, but I already receive your money, then everything okay. So as as a Muslim, or is when we want to run an Islamic business. So this element of mutual consent should be taken care of. So for the Islamic banks, when they offer something or they offer products to the customer, so the customer should know, should understand, should consent whatever terms and the conditions that the banks put in the contract. Okay, they have to ensure that. Okay. And Islamic banks, how they want to know whether the customer have consent on the offer or not. Basically, the customer will need to sign the consent letter, will need to sign the agreement letter. Okay, so by signing this agreement, you're showing that us that you are consent on whatever terms and conditions that put in the agreement. Okay, that actually practice lah. Okay. So hadith on the prohibitions of Gharar narrated by Hakim Ibn Hizam. Hakim asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay, a man comes to me and wants me to sell him something which is not in my possessions. Should I buy it for him from the market? He replied, do not sell what you do not possess. Rasulullah advised that we can't sell something that we do not own. Like you saw a car on the road, and then your son, your daughter ask like, okay, ayah or father, can you buy that car for me? Basically that car belong to others. So we cannot sell something that we do not possess it. Even though that things is like in apa nama je, durian apa orchard okay, kebun durian. Okay, kebun durian orang lain punya. Okay, so we go to one orchard, durian orchard. Okay, then we saw one durian just fall down. So we take it because the owner is not there. Nobody is there. But Allah watch. Watch us, okay? So we take it, and then there are a lot of durians. We take all. And we open booth. Okay? And then we sell that durian. Basically that durian is not ours. So cannot like that. We cannot sell something that we do not own. Okay, even though we do not, we feel that okay, the durian orchard is in the jungle. So nobody, I think nobody just own it, take care of it. So I found it, so I have right to sell it. So no, okay, cannot. Okay, okay, the conditions of Gharar. So usually Gharar happens in terms of these four conditions. Okay, the first one is types, the attributes or the quantity of the goods. Quantity, when we want to sell some things like a kilogram of rice, kilograms of fruits, where the buyer is not aware about the scale, only the seller know the number of the scale. So without, uh, so so we measure that goods is not equal in the quantity, equal in scale. So it's having considered as gharar. Okay, not enough skill. Okay, and also we do not count. We do not count it properly. So we want to sell 100 of books. So we miscount it and then we sell only 99 books. So one book left. So gharar lah. Or we sell something but we do not inform the buyer about the quantity, how much, how many we want to sell the clothes, the book, how many. So in the advertisements also, when we want to make advertisement, we should clearly mention how many the quantity of the goods that we want to sell. Okay, okay, and then times of delivery. So we should mention okay, if it is apa nama dia, expected times of arrival, ETA, isn't it? So expected times of arrival means that the stock is not there yet. So we have to mention when the ETA, expected times of arrival of the good. Is it 2 months or 1 month? Okay, we should mention it so that it is clear on the side of the buyer. Okay, and next is the price or mode of payment. We didn't mention. So we just mentioned, okay, you just pay me based on your discretion. You just pay me 1 or 2 ringgit, just enough. 100, 200 ringgit, just enough. It's up to you. It's up to you. It is gharar. Okay? Because why? Later on, if they pay us very low price, very cheap, we feel regret. We feel it is unfair. But at the first place, we are the one that let the buyer decide how much they should pay us. They want to pay us. Okay? So we should mention as the exact price. We want to sell this laptop with 1,000, say 1,000. Then you cannot say like it's up to you based on the market price. What is the market price? Market price can be there, can be 1,200, 1,500, can be 2,000, isn't it? Okay. And then the mode of payment also should be mentioned for especially during these times. So everything is online. So mode of payment, whether it's direct transfer, is it COD, cash on delivery, or what? Okay. Ability for delivery. Okay, whether it's COD or you have to pick up at one point, pick up at the seller house, for example. So everything should be clearly mentioned to the other party. Okay. Okay, so factors of gharar, we have, for example, absence or incomplete ownerships. Please do not sell something that we do not own. So the seller has no right to the subject matter and cannot legally guarantee the delivery of the subject matter mentioned in the contract because of incomplete ownership. Incomplete ownership, okay, or absence or do not own 100%. Okay, so ownerships, we have a two types of ownership, complete and incomplete ownership. Complete ownership, basically we hold the right to a legal right. The property is under our name and also we have right to use it. Like we buy a car with our name and we use that car. Okay, there is complete ownership. Incomplete ownership is we either we hold the legal ownership but we do not hold the beneficiary, the benefit ownership. Like we buy a car under our name and we rent the car to to others. So we do not have right to receive benefit to ride the car because of we already rent it out to others, like a business, rental business, isn't it? Okay, it is incomplete ownership when others are utilize the benefits of the car and pay us token lah money for the rental payment. So it is incomplete ownership. Okay, also like we rent a house. So the house is belong to the owner, which is the legal ownerships belong to the owner. But we have ownership also. We have ownerships to apa? To stay at the house because we pay something. We pay the rental fee for the house. We actually own the house, but incomplete ownership, the benefit of ownership. Okay. Okay, factors for gharar. Second one is non-possessions of the object where a seller does not possess. For sure is gharar lah. Okay, the subject matter of the contract and cannot guarantee the physical delivery of that subject matter. Maybe it can happen for dropship business. For dropship business, because we basically do not keep the stock of the subject matter. We do not own. We only as intermediary to market the subject matter or the products. Okay, the gharar can happen where we we just mentioned in the advertisement it is based on ETA, expected time of arrival, and we mentioned 1 month of ETA. But basically, after 1 month, the buyer didn't receive the goods. So basically, it's 2 months. So gharar juga lah. Okay, because we do not have power to mention or to inform the exact date of delivery. Okay, this is factors that will attract gharar happen. Okay, so next is insertions of ambiguous conditions and elements. The subject matter or the contract is unclear, suspicious or misleading. It's unclear lah. We insert the terms and conditions, something that is um, unclear. Okay, ambiguous conditions and an element in the contract or suspicious. So this also can bring to make the gharar happens. Apa example je? Nantilah, okay, you find the example basically just around the contracts. If let's say the seller fail to disclose all relevant informations or correct informations in the contracts, so it will bring to the gharar. Maybe the it is wrong information stated in the Okay. Maybe the example is like insurance contracts. They mentioned that any illnesses will be covered, but later on, if the policy holder, the customer falls sick, and then they want to make claims, and suddenly the claim is rejected because of the types of illnesses is not covered in the contracts. Okay, so in the contract they say just very general illnesses. They didn't mention only specific illnesses, which is critical illnesses like a cancer, like a heart attacks, whereby other types of illnesses is not covered. So it's not spelled well and enough in the agreement. It is also tantamount to gharar. Okay. Okay, so the third element is Maysir. Okay, so far clear? Any questions?
So far, so good.
Alhamdulillah, so far so good. So our friends at Facebook, clear? Okay ya? Oh, dah belajar dah. Okay. Never mind. This is revisions lah. Okay. So revision for you. Okay. So next is Maysir. Okay. So next is Maysir. Maysir is what? From the word yasira, to be easy. Nak mudah je. Okay. Yasira, yasaru, to succeed. Allahumma yassir wa la tu'assir. Itu yassir yang okay. But this one, people take advantage. They want to they want to find a shortcut to become a rich people. Okay, so means lucky, chance, or easy access, success at getting something of value without earning it. Okay, basically Allah want us to make effort first before. If you want to achieve success, we have to put effort. Okay, we cannot just cut it short and then success. Okay, so from the Sharia perspective, it refers to qima, means a game. So Maysir referring to the qima, a game with the conditions that the winner of two contestants obtain something from the loser. Okay, from the loser. Okay, so Maysir or gambling is considered as a combative relationship between contracting parties, each of whom undertakes the risk of loss, and the loss of one means gain for the other. So in Islamic contract, it should be win-win situations. Okay, so all parties, it should be fair to all parties. So one party gains in terms of money and the other party gains in terms of subject matter. Okay, for exchange contract, for example, it cannot be like, okay, one party become a loser and the other party becomes a winner, only gain. The other party do not gain or just a loser and then they lose money. Okay, it is unfair. So Islamic transaction is fair. Okay, or al-adlu. And then Maysir is a form of Gharar in its worst uncertain outcome lah. Maysir also a form of Gharar because of when we join a one games, it is uncertain whether we will win or we will lose from the game. Okay. Okay, so legal basis on the provisions of Maysir. Okay, Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 90. Oh, you who believe intoxicants, all kinds of alcoholic drinks, okay, orang yang mabuk, and the gambling, and al-ansab, and al-azlam, arouse for seeking luck or decisions are an abominations of shaitan handiwork. So avoid strictly all that abominations in order that you may be successful. Okay. This one the Malay translation lah. Hai orang yang beriman sesungguhnya meminum innamal khamru wal maisir wal ansab wal azlam. Okay. So this basically these are not only maisir here, okay, but the one that intoxicants, minum, judi is maisir, and then berhala, and then mengundi nasib dengan panah adalah termasuk perbuatan syaitan. So it is very clear here in this, very straightforward in this verse. Allah mentioned that who are involved maisir, okay, or gambling, okay, they actually follow the footstep of shaitan. Okay. Okay, sikit sangat pasal Maysir ni. Okay, maybe I can explain further on the Maysir element. Okay, example of Maysir is like betting kan. Orang lelaki tahulah betting game. They betting. They watch a football match, football match. Okay, so it is just between friends, for example. They have basically two groups of footballer, apa I pun tak tahu, let's say Manchester ke Arsenal ke kan. So this guy they bet for Arsenal, and the other guy they bet for Manchester to win the match, for example. So they promise in the first place before the match start, okay, they say that okay, if Manchester win, I will give you should give me 100 ringgit. And then the other one, if Arsenal win, you should give me 100 ringgit. So they actually gambling because they are not involved. They are not footballer. In case they are footballer, they can ensure they can try hard to win the competition. But this one, they do not involve with the game, with the match. So they combating out of others' effort. No effort is put. They just they just betting with the money. So if let's say Manchester win, so the other party basically lose lah, have to give money. So it is uncertainty about who will win, who will lose. Okay. So Gharar element and then Maysir element. So one party will gain and the other party will becomes a loser. Macam tu lah. Okay, because no effort. No effort. The thing is effort. If there is effort, then we can also ensure that we will win the situations. Okay, but in this case, no effort is put. They even the footballer team do not know them. They just outside the field and outside the country, in Malaysia. Okay, that is example of Maysir lah. We gambling. We gamble some things that is uncertain, and we put a reward for it. And when it is happens, one party will win, the other party will lose. Okay, there is a gambling. Okay. Okay, now we go to ethics. Okay, what is ethics? The Prophet said on the day of the judgment, nothing more weighty than good conduct is placed in the balance of every man. Okay, so ethics lah. So as a Muslims, we have to bear our ethics. Ethics It is not only meant for the business. Our life also, we have Islamic ethic that we should perform. In everything that we do, we have to practice Islamic ethic. What is the advice from Al-Quran? What is the advice from Rasulullah? How Rasulullah do it? So basically ethics we refer to the conduct. Kan? So conduct we refer to Rasulullah lah. Kan, the theory coming from the Al-Quran and then the practical coming from the Prophet as our sample, as our role model. Kan? Because Allah give us a prophet to show us the right path, and Allah actually and then Rasulullah have show us what is Islamic ethic. Then we have to follow. So how to uh, to talk with friends, okay, how to to talk with elders, with parents, okay. So in this case, the Islamic ethics is also need to be practiced by the Islamic banking practitioners. Okay. Okay, Imam Al-Baqir said, indeed, the most complete believers in faith are the ones best of conduct. Okay, best of conduct. So whatever we do, we have to bear all the Islamic ethics. Kena ada ethicsnya. Okay. So what is ethics? Ethics is the set of moral principles that distinguish what is right from what is wrong. Okay. So related to the establishments or general guidance for human actions or conduct. This guidance. A medium to evaluate human behavior in terms of goodness or badness by means of a code of ethics. And in Islam, the substance of ethics is conveyed in the Quran with term khuluq. Wa innaka la'ala khuluqin azim. Khuluq or akhlaq. So ethic, akhlaq. People mention, why your akhlaq is like that? Akhlaq. So when we learn the course of akhlaq during our primary times, basically we learn about ethics, how we should behave, in front of people, how we should behave in front of our God. Okay. So in banking or financial industry, how they should behave in conducting their business, how they should behave in front of the customer. Okay. Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim. And indeed you are of a great moral character. Okay, this one is of Allah said, Allah mentions about Rasulullah. But this all the Quranic verse is actually for us. Okay, Allah have created us with good akhlaq or good ethics. So we are the one that decide how we should, okay, how we want to perform that a good akhlaq. Okay. Okay, so Islamic ethics is present by goodness or khair, righteousness, birri wa taqwa, taqwa, truth, uh, equilibrium or justice, al-adlu, and equity. Okay. So the Islamic business, when they want to offer any new products or they want to conduct their business, they have to ensure this all element is taken care of. Okay, the right information is given to the customer. Okay, they have to offer a good products based on the customer's need. The product will not harm the customer. They should divide the equal distributions of profits, okay, by giving a good price to the customer and provide a terms and condition that is just enough to all parties. And it's truth lah. Okay. Okay, so Islamic business ethics, conduct business, Surah An-Nisa, verse 29. O you who believe, eat not up your property among yourself unjustly. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum bil ba'd. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum bil ba'd. Illa antakuna tijaratan antaradim minkum. Please do not eat up your property among yourself unjustly, except it be a trade amongst you by mutual consent. And do not kill yourself, don't kill one another. Surely Allah is most merciful to you. Okay, so if you want to make a trading, do a business with others, we have to do it justly. Okay, and then this the last verse here, do not kill yourself. Basically, if we are the one that conduct the unjust, basically we actually kill ourselves, kill our business. Okay, because at the end of the day, people will know whether we conduct just or not. Okay, in our business. Yeah? So Islam emphasized that business activity should not be seen only as an essential aspect of human life, but also as a foundation for social indulgence. So Islamic business, Islamic business should only not only cover human life, but it also cover the entire life lah. So it is foundation for social indulgence, meaning that when we conduct Islamic business, it will enhance the social. Okay, it contribute a social. Okay, to others lah. Okay, we take care of the society needs. Okay, the profit that we do, we distribute to others. Like the banks, they do also a CSR. The community activities, they do a contributions to the social benefit. Yeah, and then the Prophet Muhammad SAW condemned manipulative and dishonest marketing activities. Abu Hurairah reported that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, anyone who carries arms against us is not one of us. Anyone who cheat us is not one of us. Okay, it's also condemned by the Prophet. Okay, last slide. Okay, Al-Quran Surah An-Nisa verse 36. This one. Yang ni lah. So a businessman must be honest when he trades. Okay. So ethically based business are crucial in nourishing a healthy economy and building powerful industries. Okay. So Islamic ethics not only meant for individual but also for the business, because who run the business is men. We are human. People run the business. So people need to practice Islamic ethics in themselves first, and then they have to practice Islamic ethics in the business. Okay. So worship Allah and associate nothing with Him, and to parents the good, and to relative, orphan, the needy, and the near neighbor. Okay, the neighbor far away, the companion at your side, the traveller, and those whom your right hands possess. Indeed, Allah does not like those who are self-deluding and boastful. Meaning that we have to do good deeds. We have to do a good relationship. We have a good ethics. Okay, with others. So the outcomes of Islamic ethical behavior in the context of business are positive values such as hard work, punctuality, dedication, creativity, justice, and generosity among individuals. It also same with the Islamic business. When they practice a good ethics in the business, it will give a role model to the conventional business. So it will enhance a trust among the customer, among the non-Muslim customer. So at the end of the day, it will boost the business itself. Okay. Okay. With that, okay. Thank you. So any question? So far clear? Bilbatil.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Chelsea always lose. Okay. No questions? Clear? Our today's topic?
Pardon, madam.
Yeah?
I have a question about riba.
Riba. Okay.
Is it the question is on the chat box?
On the chat box. Okay, let me see your questions. Is penalty? Penalty ke apa?
Penalty charge.
Okay. Is penalty charge also part of riba, like someone is betraying the borrowed money agreement? Oh, penalty charge. Basically penalty charge is not is a riba, because penalty charge is not additions to the principal. It is penalty. So the word penalty is to penalize the one that have the one that do not follow the contract. Okay, so basically the conventional business, they charge the penalty based on their own discretions, how many percentage. You just want to join, brother? Okay, so penalty is not a riba, but for the how the Islamic bank practice the penalty charge. Basically, penalty charge is charged for those customer they pay late the monthly installment. Okay, they pay late the monthly installment. Like they have to pay in March, they didn't pay March, didn't pay February, for example. So the banks have right to penalize the customer. The thing is that they have to penalize based on the losses that happen to them, because the bank have in the system they have set a schedule for the payment, but in case the customer do not pay, they will lose, because the money that they receive from the customer, they will give to other customer. Okay, so they are allowed to take penalty, but the charger should not go to beyond whatever losses that happen to them. Okay, the difference is for the conventional bank is up to them whether they want to charge higher or lower the percentage. Okay, like say 5%, whether they want to compound the percentage or charge or not over the amount of financings. But for the Islamic bank, they have two options. They can charge penalty, but the penalty payment should be given to the charity, not become their profit, because the objective of penalty is just to give a lesson to the customer who pay late their installment. Okay, and then the second options for the bank, they do not charge penalty, they charge a compensations. We call ta'wid, compensations rate, to compensate the loss that happened to them. Okay, so the compensation rate should not go more than 1%. This is given by the Central Bank of Malaysia lah, in Malaysia. Okay, so meanings that whatever rate they impose, the rate should reflect the loss that happens. They cannot take a profit out of the compensation and out of the penalty rate. Okay, is it clear? Ilham Nofri?
Clear, madam. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so any other question?
Madam, I cannot open the attendance.
Oh, attendance, wait, mana attendance? Okay, I give attendance here in Google Meet. Okay, and then in FB Live, I give attendance here. Okay, so you can sign attendance. Okay. Okay,
You
so
should open, madam, because you close the form.
I close the form, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the title is week 3 attendance. Okay, I have opened the form. Okay, you may sign in or submit the attendance now. Okay, so no question, is already 12:55, so we end our class. Okay, with Surah Al-As in Tasbih Kifarah. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome.